Welcome back to this last video for Lambda functions. In this video, we are going to discuss about some of the interesting problems that we have in Lambda functions and how you can combine both the filters and map functions with Lambda functions. Now, let's have a quick recap about Lambda functions. Let's create a Lambda function, cubic add, cubic add. That's the name of the variable I'm going to assign, and then lambda. And inside of this I'm going to have three variables, x, y, z, and it will be returning back x, y, and z, the sum of x, y, and z. If I pass cubic add and then 2 comma 3 comma 4, it will just give me the sum of it. So that was a quick revision and a quick problem about lambda functions. Now what I'm going to do is combine lambda with filters. Let's change it to a markdown cell and do some problems of this. Let's look into a list. I have a list, my list. Okay, this my list. I have some random numbers again, 1 comma 2 comma some. Okay, so that was some quick random numbers. Okay, I have a list, and what I have to do is I have to probably find out all the even numbers that I have in my list. Okay, so what I'm going to do is new.lst is equal to, first of all, I'm going to do a type conversion, or let's skip it for the last part. I'm going to apply a filter. In filter, you know that the first thing will be a function and the second thing will be an iterable. So let's write a lambda function over here. Lambda x, and what it will do is it will return me back true or false. 0 0. Okay, so this will exactly give me whichever is true and whichever is false, and then I'm going to pass my list. So if that is an even number, it will return true, right? We are using a comparison operator. Else it will return false. So filter is just used to filter out data, so the same thing we are going to do over here. Let's run it out and check. Let's convert list to new list. So these are all the even numbers that we are having in my list. What we did was we combined lambda functions with filters. In the filter, I have written the function, a lambda function, and an iterable, that is my list. Let's look into quick one more example of the filter and combination of filter and lambda functions. I have again a list. Okay, I have a list of numbers and I should be getting out. Okay, so these are the ages. Let's have 5, 7, 97, 97. Then let's take 23, 73, 61, 89, 9. So I have these ages and I have to get out the numbers which are greater than 18, the ages which are greater than 18. So who are the adults in this? Adults equals to list, and then pass out a filter in this, and let's write the lambda function, lambda age, and let's say age, and age should be greater than 18, and then I'm going to pass out my age. Okay, I did somewhere we did it wrong. Okay, this one is wrong. Let's check now, and this is fine. So we are getting all the numbers that are greater than 18. So over here I have written out a lambda functions. It will just return, I have passed out an comparison operator, that is if the number is greater than 18 it will return true, else it will return false, and that's how the filter function works. And then the iterator I have is age. Okay, you can change this to age list just to increase a bit of the readability over here. Age list. Oops, run it off. Now the same thing, we are going to get it out. That's how we can combine a lambda with filters. Let's combine maps with lambda functions. Combine lambda with maps. Let's change it to markdown and let's have a new list. Okay, in this list what we have to do is get out the square of each and every number. Let's take this one itself, okay, and pass this to num list is equal to this, and then I have to create a new list out of this which will be having the squares of each and every number. So lambda x, and what should x be? X should be the square of it. Okay, and let's pass num list. Let's pass num list. Type error, map function. Okay, let's do this and this. Correct out the code and check new list. So these are the squares of each and every number. Okay. Or else what we can do is just write this code. Let me write this code and write out a range function. So list range 0 to 11, list range, one more bracket. Yeah, so these are the square of each and every number that is in the range of 0 to 10. Okay, this is an inclusive range. Again, 11 is one higher limit, so that's why we have plus 1 over here. Anyhow, that is how we can combine lambda functions with map. Now let's look into one more example, example 2. Again, we have list, and we are doing we have a list of, let's say, dogs, cats, some of the strings we have, and we want a new list which will be having all of them in uppercase letters. Okay, so let's say I have a list that is names equals to, I will be having Paul, Rohit, Anjani, Mahesh, and let's take one more, Nishu. All of these are in lowercase letters. I want all of these into uppercase letter. So what I can do is create a list, again map lambda, and inside of this I have to write name, and what it should be returning, it should be returning string dot upper, that converting into upper, and the name. Okay, just to make sure that this is a string, so I've mentioned over there that str dot upper, and the name should be upper. Okay, now let's write our iterator, that is names must have at least 2. Okay, so I just have gone somewhere wrong. Okay, there will be the bracket over here, and successfully we have gotten all the names in uppercase letter. So you can just change it over here, name dot upper also, that should be also working just fine. Same thing. Okay, so what we did over here, that was str dot upper, and inside of it I was writing something, let's say Paul. So it will do the same thing, it just construct the fact that in the first thing there will be string, and inside of it you are writing a string over here. So this is sort of a restriction, but it is doing the same thing. So that is how we can combine lambda function with maps and lambda function with filters. So we have gone through a lot of new problems in lambda functions, and probably you are going to use a lot of lambda functions once you jump into real life coding experiences. So thank you very much. That's it for this section. We will meet again in our next section when we discuss about some of a new topic. So let's catch up again in our next section.